They walk past your potential like it's invisible. And maybe deep down, some part of you has started to believe them. But let me remind you of something the world has forgotten. You don't need their permission. You need your decision. On the decision to become so sharp, so disciplined, so powerful in mind and action that the world no longer has the luxury of ignoring you. Because here's the truth. The world doesn't reward potential. It rewards proof. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you demand with your consistency, with your results, with your fire. And the only way to demand anything from life is to become undeniable. Undeniable in your work ethic, undeniable in your self-belief, undeniable in your growth, your hunger, your unshakable vision. No one argues with undeniable. No one questions it. No one can ignore it. The noise of critics fades in the presence of results. The doubt disappears when faced with daily discipline. When you move with purpose, you become the force that bends reality. But that kind of force doesn't come from waiting. It doesn't come from talent. It comes from inner warfare, from choosing discomfort over convenience, sacrifice over ease, legacy over laziness. Think of the ones who became impossible to ignore. Oprah wasn't picked. She built. Edison wasn't handed brilliance. He burned for it. Lincoln wasn't favored. He fought through humiliation, failure, heartbreak. You want to be seen? Then show the world something it can't look away from. Not flashy, not fake, not loud, but real. Relentless, consistent. The world bows to consistency. You don't need to be the best today. You just need to outlast the excuses. Outpractice the competition. Outdiscipline the older version of yourself. Because the world doesn't hand out crowns to those who wish. It hands them to those who work. Work like your name is your legacy. Like your effort is your signature. Like your actions are a megaphone that scream louder than your words ever could. You want recognition? Earn it. You want respect? Live in a way that commands it. Not by begging for attention, but by becoming the kind of person who can no longer be denied. Let your progress speak louder than your profile. Let your habits scream louder than your hopes. And when they finally notice you, when they ask where you came from, you'll smile because you never needed them to believe in you. You believed in you. You believed when it was hard, when no one clapped, when the dream was distant and the grind was brutal. You kept showing up. And in doing so, you became undeniable. So now you're moving. You've made the decision. But here's what separates the average from the undeniable clarity. Not wishful thinking, but ruthless, laser-cut clarity of who you are and where you're going. Clarity is power. It's the gasoline in the engine of execution. It's what keeps the fire burning long after motivation dies. Because if you don't know who you're becoming, you'll be shaped by who the world thinks you should be. And let me tell you, the world is addicted to comfort, distraction, and mediocrity. But you were born to rise. You were born to carve your path with the blade of intention, to live by vision, not by circumstance, to wake up every morning and see not the world as it is, but the world as it could be, if only you had the courage to shape it. That's what Edison saw before the world believed in electricity. That's what Disney saw in an empty swamp before it became a kingdom. That's what Carnegie saw in a raw nation before the steel empire was forged. But clarity turns ideas into impact. It turns someday into a strategy. And it turns YOU into a weapon. You want to be undeniable? Then stop wandering. Stop reacting. Stop waiting for direction. Write the mission. Burn it into your soul. Because the universe moves for those who move with conviction. You must know what you're chasing so clearly that even on the darkest days, your feet still move forward. And belief is the scaffolding that holds that vision upright. Not belief in some fantasy. Belief in yourself when it's hard. Then you've been knock it down. When they laugh, walk away, or say you've changed. You have changed. You're supposed to. Evolution is the price of elevation. And belief is what fuels every step upward. You cannot borrow belief from the crowd. You cannot fake it on the days you don't feel like it. It must be forged. Forged by action. Forged by discipline. Forged in the heat of your own momentum. Every time you show up when it's easier to sleep in, every time you say no to distractions and yes to the future, every time you ignore the fear and take the step anyway, you are forging belief. And that belief makes you unstoppable. Not because you're perfect, but because you're certain. Not because you never fall, but because you always get up faster than before. This is what it means to be undeniable. You don't wait for external validation. You validate yourself through movement, through the standard you hold when no one's watching. And if you're willing to hold that standard long enough, hard enough, with enough fire and precision and hunger, the world won't just notice. It will follow. Because people don't follow titles. They follow energy. They follow those who walk with purpose and act without apology. They'll get clear, get committed, get anchored in a vision that scares you and excites you in equal measure. And then move like it's already yours. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you become a force. That's how you become undeniable. Now you're clear. Your vision is sharp. Your belief unwavering. But clarity alone won't get you there. Belief alone won't make you undeniable. You need something deeper, something that cuts through every distraction, every obstacle, every moment of doubt. You need discipline, the kind of discipline that forces you to rise before the sun, the kind that demands focus when everyone else is sleeping, scrolling, or giving in to the pull of comfort, the kind that makes you do what others won't do, even when it feels impossible. This isn't about self-control. It's not about forcing yourself to be good when you're tempted to give in. Discipline is the art of saying, I'll do it anyway. It's about building habits that are bigger than your feelings, bigger than your excuses, bigger than your doubts. The greatest achievements in history didn't come from sporadic bursts of inspiration. They came from grinding day after day, no matter the weather, no matter the odds. That's why Edison invented the light bulb. That's why Lincoln became president. That's why Carnegie built an empire from nothing. They didn't stop. They didn't get distracted. They didn't let a single day go by without moving the needle just a little bit further. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when the comfort of sleep is whispering in your ear. It's what gets you to work when the world around you is telling you to take a break. It's what keeps you going when no one is applauding, when no one is watching, when no one is paying attention. You see, the world doesn't reward potential. It rewards persistence. It rewards consistency. It rewards action. The moment you commit to doing whatever it takes, no matter how long it takes, no matter how many failures you face, you are beginning to build a legacy that will stand undeniable and unshakable against time. And and here's the thing: discipline doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean you never fall short. It doesn't mean you don't have bad days. But discipline means you get up again. It means you learn from your mistakes, not dwell in them. It means you turn failure into fuel, setbacks into setups for comebacks. So make your actions non-negotiable. Make your habits the framework that holds up your dreams. Make your choices so powerful, they leave no room for regret. Because the difference between those who succeed and those who fall short is simply this: the ones who succeed don't stop. They don't quit. They don't give in to excuses. Discipline isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment, a promise to yourself that you'll never settle for less than your best, a promise that your dream is worth more than any temporary distraction or comfort. And when you start making those promises, when you start keeping them, when you stop negotiating with your goals, that's when the world starts to notice, because they see something they can't ignore. They see someone who's consistent, who's persistent, who's unstoppable. And when you reach that level, you're not just chasing success. You're defining it. Now, you've got clarity. You've built belief. You've forged discipline in the fire of your daily decisions. But there's one final ingredient that turns everything you've done into something the world can't ignore. Resilience. Resilience is what separates the winners from the wannabes. It's not talent that wins the race. It's the ability to keep going when the race gets hard. It's not about who's the fastest. It's about who keeps running when everyone else has fallen to the ground. Life is brutal. It throws punches. It tests your resolve. It will knock you down, steal your peace, rob you of your strength. But here's the thing: it can't take your will unless you let it. Resilience is about getting up one more time than you fall. It's about absorbing the hits and turning them into fuel. It's about looking failure in the eye and saying, "You don't define me. You define you." Look at the titans of history. Look at the legends. The true giants who became undeniable weren't the ones who had it easy. They were the ones who faced unthinkable obstacles and still rose. Think about Thomas Edison, who failed more than 1,000 times before he finally invented the light bulb. Or Walt Disney, who was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. Leshin Esnamertz, or a Lodge's Nation, who was told his ideas were too unrealistic, yet went on to create an empire of dreams. Or Abraham Lincoln, who lost countless elections, endured personal loss, and yet emerged as one of the most revered presidents in history. Every single one of them was knocked down. Every single one of them faced moments where giving up felt easier than pushing through, but they didn't give up. They didn't let failure be the end of their story. They understood that every setback was simply another lesson in the process of becoming undeniable. Resilience is built in the moments when everything inside you screams to quit. It's built when you're exhausted, when you failed again, when the world is telling you it's not worth it. And it's that resilience that gives you the power to take another step, even when it feels like your legs are made of lead. It's that resilience that turns "I can't" into "I will." It's that resilience that makes you rise, no matter the odds. So you can't just be resilient when it's convenient. You can't just show up when everything is easy. The true test of resilience is when the road is hardest, when the odds are against you, when the world is telling you to stop. Resilience is about never giving up on your dream, never giving up on yourself. It's about carrying your vision forward, no matter how heavy the burden feels. And when you do, the world will have no choice but to notice. Because the people who stand tall are the ones who refuse to stay down. The people who move mountains aren't the ones with the biggest hands. They're the ones with the biggest hearts, the strongest minds, and the will to keep pushing when the rest of the world is folding. You're in the process of becoming undeniable. And yes, there will be moments when you question it all. Moments when the weight of your dream feels heavier than your will to carry it. But if you can find it within yourself to rise, to keep moving, to stay faithful to your path, even when it feels impossible, then there is no power on earth that can stop you. You see, the world doesn't make legends. Legends make the world, and legends are made through belief, discipline, and resilience. When you make a decision to not just survive, but to thrive, when you decide that nothing, not even failure, will ever stop you, you become undeniable. The world will have no choice but to take notice. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it through your work, through your will, through your refusal to settle for anything less than your best. And when you look back at your journey, you'll realize one simple truth. You were never meant to be anything less than unstoppable. So get to work, move forward, rise above, and become undeniable.